Hi everybody, my name is Rupa, working as assistant professor in Chevrolet Engineering College. I am dealing the subject Power Electronic Controllers and Drives. Today's topic is Series Motor, Lecture 6. So before going to the series motor, we are left over with one problem in the separately excited motor. So we will see the problem and we will go to the series motor theory. So a 230 volts 500 RPM 90 amperes separately excited DC motor has a armature resistance and inductance of 0.115 ohms and 11 millihenries respectively. The motor is controlled by a chopper operating at 400 Hz. If the motor is regenerating, find the motor speed and the generated power at the rated current and a duty ratio of 0.5. Calculate the maximum safe speed if the minimum value of the duty ratio is 0.1. Okay, so first bit, find the motor speed and generated power at a rated current and a duty ratio of 0.5. So the rated conditions of operation, first we have to calculate voltage E. ER is equal to voltage rated at rated conditions. I am denoting with ER. ER is equal to V minus I. This is the current which I am taking at normal values. So I can say that it is a normal current. So ISC into RA. RA is resistance of the armature. So ER is equal to V230 minus 90. 90 is the given into 0.115 ohms armature resistance. So rated voltage is 219.7 volts. So first bit, in the regenerative braking, we have to find out the motor speed NR and regenerated power. So first one, we have to take the formula from before sections. We got the formula 1 minus delta into V is equal to E minus IA RA. So from this, E can be written as 1 minus delta into V plus IA RA. So from this, delta is given, duty ratio is given as 0.5 and armature current IA is 90 amperes. Okay, so from this, E is equal to 1 minus 0.5, that means 0.5 into V is 230 volts plus 90 into RA 0.115. So total you will get E is equal to 125 volts. So we know the equation that N by NR is equal to E by ER, where NR and ER are rated values of speed and voltage respectively. So NR is nothing but rated speed in RPM and N is speed to be calculated. Okay, so N is equal to NR into E by ER. That is, NR is rated speed is 500 into 125. You got E as 125 and rated voltage as 219.7. From this, you got the speed value to 84.5. From this, tau A is 11 into 10 power minus 3. See here. (11 millihenries). L is given as 11 millihenries, tau value. 11 divided by ILA by RA. So that is equal to 11 into milli means it is converted into 10 power minus 3 by 0.015. Again, we got the answer in seconds, milliseconds only. So tau A is equal to 95.65 milliseconds. From this time T period, we have to calculate T is equal to 1 by 400. Okay, so the motor is controlled by a chopper operating at 400 Hz. So time is 1 by 400 Hz. So 2.5 millihenries. So T by capital T by tau A ratio will be Substitute both the values, you will get 0.2026. That is tau A by T is equal to 38.6. This you will be using in further expression. So from equation 4.30, we can say that regenerated power is equal to V square by RA E by V minus 1 into 1 minus delta plus tau A by T e power 1 minus delta into T by tau A plus e power delta T by tau A minus e power tau T by tau A minus 1 by e power 1 minus e power T by tau A. So we have calculated for this purpose T A by tau A by T value. If you want, you can reverse. So you know all the values of this. If you substitute this in the PR, you will get PRG, regenerated power, as 0.00. No, this one 9.52 kilowatts. This is the value for the brackets one, this one. This value is 0.0065. So substituting that value also, you will get finally the regenerated power is 9.52 kilowatts. Okay, next, series motors. Sorry, second bit is there. First bit is over, regenerated power and motor speed. Second bit, calculate the maximum saved speed if the maximum value of duty ratio is 0.1. So what is the saved speed up to which we can go with the duty ratio of 0.1? Now we have to calculate that speed. So if you put a minimum value of delta, you can get a maximum safe period. Okay, so for higher speeds, the armature current will be exceeding the rated motor current, but this is not safe for the motor. So at the maximum speed Nm, the back EMF is given by Em is equal to 1 minus delta Mn into V plus IAR Ra, that is equal to 1 minus 0.1 they have given as delta, so 0.9, 1 minus 0.1, 0.9 into V 230 volts plus armature current 90 plus into resistance is 0.015 ohms. So if you substitute, you will get the maximum EMF at maximum speed. So from this EMF, you have to find out the maximum speed. Maximum speed is equal to NT by ET into EM. So NR by ER into EM, that is 500 by 219. You have solved this NR ER rated speed. So NR by ER 500 by 219.7 into EM maximum EMF 217. So this is 494 is the maximum speed up to which we can go until the motor is safe. Okay, now we will go to the series motor. So the figure which I have showed you in previous classes, that is 4.6 figure, this one. This circuit can also be employed. This is employed for regenerative braking of DC motors in separately excited motor. Okay, so this same circuit employed for the regenerative braking of series motor is the same as shown in the figure 4.6a. Okay, so in regenerative braking, this series motor what we are using, it is made to work as a self-excited generator. Okay, so this requires the field to be reversed. In order to work as a self-excited generator, we have to reverse the field. Okay, so we have to reverse the field with respect to the armature and compared to their connection in the motoring operations. By keeping these points in the mind, we have to reverse the field. So the principle of operation remains the same for as I explained in the separately excited motor only. Okay, so what happens, see, once if I close the switch, this will be LA, this will be acting as a motor at this time when the switch is closed from 0 to delta T. So what happens, the inductance will be storing the energy, and this will be, this unit, total unit will be acting as a motor. So after I remove the charging, that is after I open the switch. That means when we remove the charge of the vehicle, the switch will be opened. So from the duration delta t to t, the switch is open. So what happens? Up to then, the current will be flowing like this towards the motor. So now when I remove the charger, what happens? This motor will be acting as a generator and it is delivering energy to the source. Okay, so it is delivering back energy to the source. That means the IA is going against the source through the capacitance and filter inductance. Switch is open because this as switch is open, this branch is open. Okay, so I'm using the approximation of equation 4.23. This is 4.23 equation. So using the approximation of equation 4.23, this method can be described. Same, the formulas for the series motor can be described here. So the following equation is obtained. You will go to our slide. This one. So what is the following equation? Omega m. It is It is obtained from TRC control, time ratio control. Okay, so what is the equation we obtained from time ratio control is omega m is equal to 1 minus delta into V plus RA IA by K. So make it as 31st equation, 4.31 equation. Okay, and the generated power in before classes we have reduced a generated power 4.30 equation. Same can be used here also for generating the power. Okay, now we will see the graphs here. If you see the graphs here, for a given delta, the speed torque the speed torque and the speed regenerated power characteristics are calculated from the following steps. I will show you the steps. First, same steps which are used in the separately excited motor, with the same steps, by following the same steps, we can calculate the speed torque characteristics or speed generated power characteristics. Okay, so in the first figure 4.8, you can see the speed torque curves, and in the B figure regenerated power speed torque curves you will see. Okay, so first, what is the first step? We have to choose a value of armature current IA. Okay, IA will be chosen. So corresponding to that IA, K will be, the value of K will be obtained from the motor magnetization characteristics. This is the second step. First step, we have to choose the value of IA, and second step, K will be obtained, corresponding K will be obtained from the chosen IA value. Okay, next. Third step is omega m, TA and PRG, regenerated power, are obtained from the equations 31, 17 and 30. So omega m is obtained from 31 equation and TA is obtained from 17th equation and PRG, regenerated power, is obtained from 30th equation. So from these three equations we have to calculate omega m, TA and PRG. Right? So the nature of these speed, torque and torque characteristics I have shown you here. Two curves. For a given value of delta 1, delta 2, delta 3, here also delta 1, delta 2, delta 3, the torque will be increasing. See here, the torque will be increasing with decrease in speed. Okay, the torque will be increasing with decrease in speed. As the speed decreases from high point to low point, the torque will be increasing. Okay, so coming to the regenerative power, the regenerative power will be increasing as we increase the speed. See here, also the same, as we increase the speed, the regenerative power will be increasing. The regenerated power increases as we increase the speed. So here, this speed torque curves, these are suitable for stopping a motor, and these are not suitable for holding an active load. Okay, because the positive slope, it drives the motor to the unstable mode. Okay, so these are used for stopping the motor, that's all. These are not used for holding an active load, because the positive because of the positive slope, the drive becomes unstable because of the positive slope. Okay, so as in the case of motor operation, we see in before classes, in the CLC, current control current limit control, the torque will be remaining constant there because it is independent of speed. The separately excited motors, we can say that these are constant speed motors. So we can say that there the torque will be remaining constant and it is independent of the speed. And the regenerated power will be increasing linearly with speed for any limits of current between IA2 to IA1. Okay, so as explained in the separately excited motor before classes, the armature current will also be excessive at larger speeds because there is a restriction on the minimum value of delta. So if you have if you have to limit the delta, the speed will be the armature current will be more than the rated currents. So this is prevented either by an external resistance in the armature, or if you weaken the field using a special circuit, it is prevented. The excessive the going of excessive current in the armature is prevented. Okay, so the regenerative braking of a DC series motor is not as simple and it is not as smooth as that of the separately excited motors. So the main problem is that there will be a difficulty in initial buildup of backup and there will be a poor stability. So these all about series motors. Next, we will go about dynamic and composite braking of DC motors. So what is dynamic braking and what is composite braking of DC motors, we will see. So coming to the dynamic braking. So the basic circuit I am showing here in figure 4.9, the dynamic braking with chopper control. See here, the only difference between the circuits and the normal circuits and this dynamic braking of circuits. So normal circuits I have explained you in before sections is just only addition of self-commutated semiconductor switch S in parallel with the braking resistance RA. Okay, just I am adding this self-commutated semiconductor switch with parallel to the RA. Okay, here the switch will be operated periodically with the time t and it will be closed for a duration of delta t. Okay, so if you do like this for operation of period t and close it for a operation of delta t, this allows a stepless variations. Okay, so there will be a stepless variation in the value of resistance between the terminals A and B. Okay, so if the ripple in the armature, if you neglect the ripple in the armature, then the energy will be consumed by the RB. In one cycle, it can be given as EB is equal to IA square RB into 1 minus delta into T. And the average power consumed by RB is, this is the EMF and the energy consumed, and the power is average power consumed by the RB is PA is equal to EB by T, that is IA square RB into 1 minus delta. And the effective value of resistance between the terminals A and B is RE is equal to PA by IA square. that is equal to 1 minus delta into RB. Make it as 32 equation. Okay, so from this above equation, I can say that the braking resistance is steplessly charged from RB to 0. So without steplessly, I can change the resistance from RB to 0. So with the Gluty ratio, I am keeping the delta. So this delta is controlled from 0 to 1. And with the reduction in speed, the delta can be increased to reduce the RC. So thus this braking can be carried out at constant torque until delta is equal to 1. This braking can be carried out. So this motor is braked along the speed torque curve corresponding to RB is equal to 0. In before figures, I have shown you this. And with the entrance of this semiconductor switch, when we keep this semiconductor switch, this allows the braking operation at a highest torque from full to very close to 0 speed. Okay, so for the dynamic braking to apply dynamic braking to the series motor, these must be self-exciting. And if you reverse the field here, these are applicable for dynamic braking. Next, coming to the composite braking. Okay, this is all about dynamic braking. Next, composite braking. So when the electrical energy generated in regenerative braking, it should be stored in the source or it should be supplied to the loads. Only two things should be happened. Okay, so first one, it should be stored in the source, or second thing, it will be supplied to the loads connected to the source. Suppose if you take a battery here, with the omitting of batteries, a source cannot be stored energy. Okay, so without a battery, if you take a battery only, the source will be storing the energy. If you omit the battery, how can we store the energy in the source? So there should be some loads available to use this energy. If the loads are not available, they are not adequate to consume all the regenerated energy. So if you are not able to store the regenerated energy, if you are not able to consume the regenerated energy, how can we dissipate? It is not possible to dissipate. So the combination of regenerative and dynamic braking, both we use, this is called as composite braking. Actually, these composite brakings are mainly used in DC tractions. Okay, so the DC supply for traction is usually obtained from the AC supply. In general, these AC supplies are converted into DC by an uncontrolled rectifiers, because these permit energy to flow in one direction only. That is, the only one direction the flow of energy is from AC to DC. So when the traction vehicle is returning, its braking energy, it should be taken up by other vehicles, because it cannot be fed back to the AC supply. This will not be happen because there may be no vehicles running at the time, and secondly, the peak power fed back is always greater than the power they are accepted by other vehicles. So there are only two possible ways of absorbing this energy. First one is by feeding it to the AC supply using a line commutated inverter. But for this method, This increases the cost of conversion equipment. For converting, the cost will be increased. And second one, by using a composite braking, this one, what I am explaining now. By using a composite braking. So you can see in the figure a composite braking. The braking resistor RA and the thyristor T1. See here the braking resistors RA. One minute. So in the composite braking, the braking resistance RB, this one, the braking resistance RB and the thyristor T1, these are added to the regenerative circuit of figure what I have discussed. Because if you see here, you are having the motor circuit here and switch, and parallel to the switch you are having a capacitance and D diode, but this equipment is not there. Okay, so if you add a resistance RB and thyristor T1 to the regenerative braking circuit, you will get this composite braking. Okay, so the waveforms of the motor armature current and the filter capacitor voltage, here also you can show in the figure. See here, you can see in the figure. So thyristor T1, it is not given the gate pulse, as long as here if you see the waveforms of only with regenerative braking, and this is the waveform with composite braking. Okay, so the waveforms of the motor armature current and filter capacitor voltage are seen here. This is the motor, this is the figure of motor armature current, and this is the figure of, second figure is filter capacitor voltage. So thyristor T1, it will not give the gate pulse as long as the capacitor voltage is below the tolerance limit of the supply VC max. Okay, it does not give gate pulse. So until the capacitor voltage is below the VC max, then only it will give the gate pulse. If it is beyond the VC max, the thyristor will not give gate pulse. Okay, so the capacitor voltage across the limit, the gate pulse is applied to T1 to turn it on. Next, as long as the DC network, it is able to absorb all the regenerated power, the capacitor voltage will be remaining below the tolerance limit VC max only. And now when the limit is below the VC max only, the regenerative braking will be taking place. So the waveforms of VC and IA for this case are shown in B figure. This one, B figure. So if the supply network cannot accept the regenerated power, which is flowing into the capacitor, so it will be in the, suppose if you take in the off period, the supply network cannot accept the regenerated power until the turn off, during the turn off period of switch. Okay, so this, at that time, this energy will be getting stored in the capacitor and it voltage rises. See here, it voltage rises. This voltage rises. This one. So when it exceeds the prescribed limit VC max, see here, so the voltage rises up to the limit VC max. So up to the prescribed limit, it exceeds. Now the thyristor is turned on. When it exceeds the prescribed limit VC max, the thyristor T1 is turned on and the resistor RB is switched on. Now, at the time when the limit voltage increases VC max, thyristor gets on and RB is switched in. So now the motor current will no longer flows in capacitor and it will no longer flows into the source, but it will be flowing into the series resistor RB. Again, when the switch is turned on, again at T, time period T, this is the beginning of the next chopping cycle. At next chopping cycle, this cycle will be begin again. So the current through the resistor RB, it ceases and thyristor T1 is again turned off until it reaches the voltage VC max. Okay, so if the source voltage cannot accept energy, it flows through the capacitor. The capacitor voltage will be rising from VC max and the thyristor again switches on and it ons the, that means the RB will be coming into action. So the main advantage of this circuit is the source capacity to accept the energy. It is checked in every chopping cycle. Okay, this is the main advantage, and energy is supplied to the source as long as it is able to absorb it. So the energy is wasted in the resistance only when the source cannot accept it only. And the main advantage is power circuit is simple, and thyristor without its own commutation circuit switches the braking resistor in and out also. So next current control you will see in next classes.